Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to give my final 2019 NFL mock draft. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but I've been busy finishing my undergraduate career, thank God for that. But finally, here we are, 24 hours out about from the 2019 NFL draft that is being held right here in Nashville, Tennessee. I won't be going to the draft, but I will be live streaming me covering the draft on this channel tomorrow, so make sure to come back for that. So not much has changed in my mock draft. I mean, we've changed players here or there, but the overall feel of the draft is the same. However, I'm feeling less certain about Kyler Murray going #1 overall to the Arizona Cardinals. I've been hearing some local beat reporters in Arizona, in Phoenix, feeling that all of this has been a smokescreen, that they're going to take Quinnen Williams if they cannot trade back, most likely with the Oakland Raiders, and bait them into trading up for Kyler Murray. So it's going to be a close call here, but I'm going to stick with Kyler Murray being drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. I think they should take him. If they don't, I think they'll be fine. I think Josh Rosen will do well with Cliff Kingsbury anyway, but I think Kyler Murray could be unstoppable in Arizona, and he could put up ridiculous numbers as a runner and a thrower. I think it would be insane. So today, for this final mock draft, I will still have Kyler Murray being drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, but man, things will be interesting. It will be a close call indeed, and even if he doesn't go to the Cardinals, I will tell you, I believe the Raiders will absolutely take him either at #4 or they'll trade up to #1 and take him outright. So be very careful here, but I still have Kyler Murray going #1 to the Arizona Cardinals. So I have Nick Bosa going 2 to the 49ers. Not really much to discuss there. I ended up settling on Quinnen Williams going to the Jets at #3. You know, they could take Josh Allen easily, but Quinnen Williams might be the best player in this entire draft, honestly. Him and Bosa for me are so close. I debate it every day, but I think Nick Bosa's potential is a little bit higher, so I go with Bosa at the end of the day. But Williams is right there, and I think the Jets will have no problem taking him and adding him on that defensive line next to Leonard Williams, no relation. #4, we have Josh Allen going to the Oakland Raiders, and this is pretty much the pick that they should make. Now, maybe Ed Oliver intrigues them. Ed Oliver, his draft stock has been up, it's been down, and now it's back up. So perhaps they'll take him at #4, but I think Josh Allen is a safer pick. I went with Josh Allen at #4. Devin White at #5 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They could use a linebacker. They lost Quan Alexander in free agency. Input Devin White here. #6, Ed Oliver to the New York Giants. As I aforementioned, his draft stock has came back up. Teams have realized throughout this process, okay, he's an athletic beast, and although at times he had problems, you know, coinciding with his coaching staff at Ole Miss, or Houston, excuse me, this is still a very talented player that could still be a very great NFL player. Let's take him and let's see what he can do at the next level. We have Juwan Taylor, the offensive tackle out of Florida, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They could easily select Jonah Williams here. They could easily select tight end TJ Hawkinson here, but I think they go offense. I just don't see them going defense. That would not make sense to me. The defense isn't perfect, but it's good enough. The offense needs help right now. People, I know they added Nick Foles, but the tight end position right now is absolutely awful. Ben Koyak is scheduled to start at tight end. The offensive line is still a disaster to me, where Greg Robinson is your left tackle, and not a very good one, right? So they need to continue to improve their offensive line, and I think they're going to do so here with Juwan Taylor. You have a defensive tackle, Rashawn Gary, going to the Detroit Lions at #8 here, and I think he could play defensive end for them. He's kind of like a hybrid defensive lineman, and in this 4-3 front, he'd probably play, you know, a mix of both positions, but they probably want him at the end position. Regardless, he goes to the Lions, and they're going to need him. Ezekiel Ansah is still out there in free agency. No one wants him because no one knows if he's healthy right now, but Rashawn going to the Detroit Lions would make a lot of sense to me. #9, we have tight end TJ Hawkinson. He goes to the Buffalo Bills, and this could be a very good pick. I'm not in love with the idea of taking a tight end in the top 10. It's never worked out historically, pretty much, unless if he's going to be Rob Gronkowski. I think you pretty much end up regretting this. I think you'd be better off taking like an offensive lineman like Jonah Williams, maybe even Andre Dillard, before you went to taking taking a tight end, a TJ Hockenson, who could be very good, could be a Pro Bowl tight end. It just doesn't happen often enough for me. And I think wide receivers at the end of the day are more valuable than great tight ends, except for the occasional Rob Gronkowski or Jimmy Graham in his prime, or Tony Gonzalez in his prime. If he's not one of those guys, are you really excited about taking a tight end in the top 10? I'm not. But the Buffalo Bills, you know, they have a history of doing stuff like this. Remember, you know, they took Sammy Watkins very highly. I think they just do whatever they want. So I could easily see them taking TJ Hockenson here, and that's what I have in my mock draft. Number 10, we have linebacker Devin Bush going to the Denver Broncos. I think they love to take TJ Hockenson, but the Buffalo Bills jumped on that. And the Broncos don't have many needs here with players that are around this area in terms of value. So I think they'll just take a guy like Devin Bush. They could go offensive lineman like Jonah Williams, but I think they like their tackles right now in Garrett Bowles and their other tackle I can't remember off the top of my head right now. So I don't think they're going to take a tackle here. Defensive line is possible, but they're not going to take defensive end, so it has to be defensive tackle. Maybe Christian Wilkins, maybe. But I think Devin Bush was the player that made the most sense at a position that they could use in linebacker, so I went with Devin Bush there. Outside of the top 10, the most significant picks, you got to go to number 15. I have Dwayne Haskins being drafted by the Washington Redskins. Now, this is very interesting indeed, but I absolutely believe this. The Redskins will take a quarterback in the first round in this 2019 NFL draft. Now, whether it is Dwayne Haskins or Drew Lock, I can't tell you, or Daniel Jones, but it's going to be one of those three to me. And right now, I am absolutely buying the recent hype and the recent rumors that it will be Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State. Now, my final definitive quarterback prospect rankings, I got Murray 1, and this may surprise some of you, except for Mel Kiper. I got Daniel Jones number 2. I got Dwayne Haskins number 3. Now, I believe that Jones and Haskins are very close, very, very close, but I like Jones a little bit better, especially considering the fact I saw Dwayne Haskins off season, I saw his combine, I saw his pro day. Okay, he ain't athletic, so just as passers, I like Daniel Jones a little bit more. And since neither one of them going to be running anywhere, I'll take the better passer, and I think that is truly Daniel Jones, who had horrible talent around him at Duke. I mean, my goodness, you can't turn on this guy's film without seeing a drop every other pass. It was ridiculous at Duke, whereas a guy like Dwayne Haskins could just give the ball to Paris Campbell and he'd be off to the races almost every other play, right? So I think when you even the talent out, I think Daniel Jones is better than Dwayne Haskins, but I think it's close, and I got second round grades on both of them. So if you ask me, I wouldn't pick either one of them in the first round, especially if I'm a team like the Washington Redskins. I think the Redskins should just say, well, screw this year, we're tanking, and we're going to try to take Tua Tagovailoa next year, or we're going to take Justin Herbert or something. I would not take Dwayne Haskins in the first round this year, but they're desperate. You know, they're the Washington Redskins. We know who they are. They are who we thought they were, and they're going to take Dwayne Haskins here. So that's my prediction there. And then we have Daniel Jones, number 17 to the New York Giants. He fits their mold. I compare him a lot to Eli Manning for better and worse. He ain't going anywhere. He's staying in the pocket. He's like the 2019 version of Eli Manning coming out, right? So he's a little more athletic than Eli Manning. He's not completely statuesque, so don't get me wrong on that. But if Eli Manning was growing up in this era where you have to move a little bit, Eli Manning would look like this coming out of college, okay? I mean, essentially that's what we're talking about here. So let's follow the pattern and the mold there and things in terms of how talent, evolves, the evolution of talent over the years. You're looking at Eli Manning 2019 version. And the Giants are gonna love this. They're gonna say sit behind Eli Manning for a year or two, and he's gonna teach you to be just like him, except I don't think he's gonna be as turnover prone as Eli Manning was. And the question is, whenever he comes to the playoffs, if he ever does, Daniel Jones, will he be able to win, right? So that'll be the question there. But there is a ceiling there. I don't think he's going to be an elite quarterback in this league, but I think he could be a good one. I think the Giants will jump on that at number 17, not at number 6, but at number 17. Outside of that, number 19, Tennessee Titans. I know Titans fans want to know my thoughts on who we're going to take, and I'm watching so much film, trying to catch up on all these guys, but I really think we're looking at an offensive lineman, really, most likely, in like a Garrett Bradbury, a Cody Ford, maybe Eric McCoy out of Texas A&M, the guard out of Texas A&M there, maybe Greg Little, they tried to convert him to offensive guard. I think that's most likely. I also think Christian Wilkins or Brian Burns, if they're available, are likely. I've heard rumors about that, so they got for those two. And I want to, if I have time, to wrap around tonight and probably go live. And by the way, I bought a new HD 1080p live streaming camera that will be debuted tomorrow, but it could even be debuted tonight. And I might come on and preview the Titans draft, or I might just want to stick around and just watch film. That would be more prepared for tomorrow's coverage. I think that's going to be my move, the second of those two options, but just be on the lookout for that. Regardless, okay, so either offensive lineman or Christian Wilkins, the defensive tackle from Clemson, or Brian Burns, the pass rusher for Florida State, maybe Montez Sweat, the pass rusher from Mississippi State, and then maybe a wide receiver. If it's wide receiver, I'm betting Marquise Brown. Hollywood Brown out of Oklahoma, and I'd be down for it. I think DK Metcalf will be available, and I think that they pass because I don't think they're ready to go down the DGB road again, because it's essentially the same damn road, okay, where these are two men that can run in a straight line, and you're gonna have to develop everything else. Now, DK Metcalf is not the clown, okay, that DGB was, right? Although his name may be DK, he's not a baboon, okay? He may play, in a very simple way, but he's not a baboon. DJB or DGB was a complete baboon. So I'm not sure if they're gonna go down that road again. Are we gonna, oh my God, again, we have to develop someone that doesn't have a route tree? I don't buy it, but we'll see. Okay, it's gonna be very interesting, and we'll cover that tomorrow. Live coverage for the 2019 NFL Draft tomorrow. Outside of that, that's pretty much the important stuff. And then I do have DK Metcalf going number 20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now that would be interesting, and again, he's going to need some development, but he's also going to be able to come in and do some things. Like, he can run a fade, he can run a go route, he can run a decent curl and a decent slant, so he's going to be able to do some stuff. And I think Ben Roethlisberger would love to help develop him. It would be very interesting. I know Antonio Brown would have something to say about this, and it'd be very fun to watch unfold. So there you go, 2019 NFL mock draft, my final NFL mock draft. Now, if we come tomorrow and we hear it's over, there is like a huge trade between the Raiders and the Cardinals, I might make one final update, or if we get definitive answers that it will be Quinnen Williams over Kyler Murray, I might try to save my mock draft. But for all intents and purposes, this is my final 2019 NFL mock draft, and I will be back again tomorrow for my live coverage of the 2019 NFL Draft Round 1. So stick around and stay tuned for all of that. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.